Katie. So if you are thinking about homeschooling or are still in the early days of homeschooling, and you're wondering, what do I do with these kids all day long? Hopefully this video will help. So first of all, it helps to look at your why. Why are you homeschooling? What do you want your family to get out of homeschooling? Look at your long-term goals. Sorry, our puppy is playing at my feet. So I ended up writing a mission and a vision for our homeschool, which you don't have to do. It just helped me better focus, so I wasn't constantly looking at what other families are doing and what other families were doing and trying to replicate what was working for other families, but probably wasn't going to work for our family. So our homeschool mission is to nurture a love for God, learning, creativity, and adventure, to raise critical thinkers who ask questions in a safe, relaxing, encouraging, and supportive environment where they can pursue their interests, learn about the world around them, and work on life skills. And our homeschool vision is to encourage reading, asking questions, determination, researching topics, and hand-on activities. We will allow our children to pursue their interests and offer guidance when needed. We will allow our children to comprehend and master a concept before moving on to the next. We have a school schedule, but we'll be flexible to meet their daily needs. We will provide time for play dates, field trips, family connection, sensory needs, exploring, and adventure often. We will work on empathy, compassion, self-awareness, life skills, social skills, as well as building relationships and a loving character. And a Bible verse that I wrote down for our focus this year. Since God chose you to be the holy people he loves, you must clothe yourself with tender-hearted mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Colossians 3:12. And as far as trying to start from scratch of what does your day need to look like, what subjects are you going to cover, my first word of advice would be, don't try to replicate the public school. There are many reasons we homeschool our kids, but the traditional public school environment was not suited for our special needs children. Both of our children are autistic. And every child is different. One curriculum or one way of teaching may work for one child and it may not work for another. We are constantly changing our schedule and our routine. We have changed curriculum over the years, and sometimes we change in a couple of months after trying one. Whatever works best for your family. I had heard just starting out with 2 subjects, just so you're not overwhelming your kids or yourself. Maybe just start out with language arts and math. As far as our schedule goes, I like to look at just an hourly schedule. So what are things that can't be moved? Church, therapy. We currently are doing a dance, a Grown Up in Me dance class on Monday evenings. There's boxing at our local gym that I really enjoy doing, so I have that on my schedule. And then there's 2 weightlifting classes that I have started to enjoy. We are currently doing puppy class on Saturdays. I think this Saturday is our last class, so that will be able to come off the schedule. On Sundays, Sammy is doing Ninja Zone, which she is really enjoying. And then Wednesdays we do homeschooling co-op, and that's a good chunk of our Wednesday. So first of all, looking at what do you have on your schedule that's not negotiable and is a set time. And possibly taking some of those things off. Do you have too much already on your plate for your family?
We forgot these.
And then as far as subjects, I would first look at what your state requires. Our state doesn't specify subjects per se, as long as the kids are being taught.
Don't talk, I say.
Sorry, they're trying to be quiet. Our state doesn't specify exact what subjects need to be covered as long as you are teaching 180 days. For our family, it works best, hi Remy, if we do year-round, which year-round may look different for everyone. Some days we're doing school, some weeks every day, Monday through Friday, or we might be doing, Elijah, please. Some weeks we might be doing school on Monday, Friday, Saturday. If the weather's really nice, we're going to be outside a lot more. In the winter time, we usually do more book work because I don't want to be outside when it's 11 degrees. In the spring and the fall, we usually have lighter school days, so we can spend a lot of time outdoors. So I just make sure that we get our 180 days in, and I just have a calendar in the front of my planner so I can check mark our days. And then I write each month how many books or how many days we had completed. Sam and Eli, can you please go play? You drawing? Okay.
It's done.
It's done. It's very good. So as far as subjects go, again, I would just look at what your state requires. I wrote down a list. We don't necessarily do all of these subjects. Our kids are still pretty young, but Bible study, language arts, math, handwriting, spelling, science, reading, life skills, homesteading, doing a picture study, nature study, music study, handicrafts, like sewing, going over health, social studies, which social studies could be broken down to world history, American history, geography. You can work on music or hymns. You can also do economics, art, PE. These are a lot of subjects for young kids to work on. So we worked on just the basics and then started to build off of that. So this is our current schedule that I had created. We usually start about 7:45.
Okay.
Which, that's because the kids want to start that early. I would prefer not to start that early, but they work best early in the morning. So, usually around 7:45, we come to the table. We do devotional, Bible study, language arts, handwriting, and that's handwriting and spelling is sometimes, not always. We do math and our science, and then we do free play. And this says 10 o'clock, but that's not necessarily. It's whenever we get through these subjects or whenever they need a break. And then they just go play for a while, and they might come back to do a little bit more. Usually 11:30, we do lunch, maybe do outside time depending on the weather. And then we might have free play again, or we might read a book together. In the afternoons, we can do life skills and homesteading. So whether that's gardening or baking together. Usually in the later afternoon, if we're able to, which it's not every day, we'll go through health, social studies, economics, and what that looks for our kids who are young is we might go through a safety book or talk about body parts and how they function. As far as economics, we might talk about money and adding and saving. And then we usually do art and sensory play, creative time and music later in the afternoons. And we don't complete all of these subjects every day. That almost never happens. But as long as we get our basics, language arts, and math in, as well as Bible, that's my main goals for them. And we might have days that we wake up and someone's not feeling well and we completely just decide to take a break, or we might just read together that day. So as long as you are committed to homeschooling, being intentional, your plans will constantly change and evolve. It's not just what curriculum is the best curriculum out there, because that is a rabbit hole I have fell down before. Every kid is different, and what works for one kid this year might not work in a year or two, or it might not work 6 months from now. As long as you are constantly able to go with the flow and meet their needs, that's all you can do and the best that you can do. But I am loving homeschooling our kids, and we have been homeschooling for 3 years now, and I'm just now feeling like we are getting in a groove of doing things and learning well, retaining information, and it's taken us 3 years to figure out what works for our family. And in a few months, I might be figuring things out again, but I'm committed to homeschooling our kids, and pray that God gives me the strength and the patience to continue, because I really feel like it is God's plan for our family to homeschool, and I want to commit to that. I want to submit to God's plan for our family. Please let me know if you have any questions of getting started with homeschooling, and just know there's a large homeschooling community out there for support, and if you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a good day.